Zuri Adeyemi came to Seoul with one mission: find out who killed her brother Kofi and make them pay. She infiltrated Kang Woo-Jin's organization, believing he was responsible for her brother's death. But the night she accidentally touched his hand, everything changed. Woo-Jin, a man who'd felt nothing for 3 years after a devastating betrayal, suddenly felt everything. Her touch awakened something inside him he thought was dead forever. As their forbidden attraction grew more dangerous, Zuri discovered the truth hidden in Woo-Jin's files. He wasn't her enemy. He'd tried to save Kofi. He'd been protecting her all along. The real killer was Chairman Kang, Woo-Jin's mentor, his savior, and the most powerful crime lord in Seoul. But when Zuri uncovered evidence of Kang's crimes, she became his next target. With only 13 minutes to escape assassins sent to her apartment, Zuri ran for her life. Woo-Jin broke out of police custody to save her, and for the first time, his carefully controlled emotions shattered completely. Because losing her meant losing the only thing that made him feel human again. Together, they planned to take down Chairman Kang before he could kill them both. But then came the video that changed everything. Chairman Kang revealed he had Kofi's necklace, the one Zuri had buried with her brother 6 months ago. And standing behind Kang, alive and smiling, was Kofi himself, her brother, the man she'd mourned, the man she'd come to Korea to avenge. Alive. Zuri's world shattered. Had Kofi betrayed her? Was he working with the man who'd supposedly killed him? Or was there another explanation, something she couldn't see yet? Now, with nowhere left to run and time running out, Zuri, Woo-Jin, and Kofi must face Chairman Kang one final time. The truth about Kofi's death will be revealed. Secrets buried for 3 years will come to light. And in one explosive night, everything will end. This is the finale. This is where justice is served or lost forever. This is where Zuri and Woo-Jin's love will either survive or destroy them both. If you haven't watched part 1 and part 2, go back now. This finale will hit so much harder if you know the full story. Links are in the description below, and if you're caught up and ready for this emotional roller coaster to end, hit that subscribe button right now, because what you're about to watch will leave you breathless. Let's finish this together. The silence in the safe house was deafening. Zuri stood frozen in the center of the small living room, the phone still clutched in her trembling hands. The video paused on the impossible image of her brother's face. Kofi, alive. Standing behind Chairman Kang with that smile, that same crooked smile he'd had since childhood, the one that had always meant he was up to something. But this time, the smile looked wrong, hollow, like a mask worn by a stranger. Zuri. Woo-Jin's voice cut through the static in her mind, low and careful, the tone someone used when approaching a wounded animal. Put the phone down. She couldn't. Her fingers had locked around the device, knuckles pale against her dark skin. If she put it down, if she stopped looking at the screen, then she'd have to accept what she was seeing. She'd have to believe that her brother, the man she'd mourned for 6 months, the man whose death had sent her spiraling into this nightmare, had been alive the entire time. Working with the man who'd supposedly ordered his murder. He's alive, Zuri whispered, her voice cracking. Woo-Jin, he's alive. I see that. Woo-Jin moved closer, his footsteps careful, deliberate. He positioned himself between her and the windows, always protecting, even now when the greatest threat was the truth itself. But we don't know what this means. It could be a trick, deepfake technology, AI manipulation. That's him. Zuri finally tore her eyes from the screen to look at Woo-Jin, and she saw her own devastation reflected in his expression. I know my brother's face. I know the scar on his chin from when he fell off his bike at 12. I know the way he stands with his weight on his left leg because he broke his ankle playing football. That's Kofi. Woo-Jin's jaw clenched. His hands curled into fists at his sides, and for a moment, she saw the cold, calculating Mafia boss he'd been before she'd touched him and brought him back to life. He was processing, strategizing, looking for the angle, the trap, the play. If he's alive, Woo-Jin said slowly, then everything we thought we knew is wrong. He's been working with Chairman Kang. Zuri's voice was hollow now, shock giving way to a numbing cold that spread through her chest like frost. All this time, while I was crying over his grave, while I was infiltrating your organization to avenge him, while I was... Her voice broke. God, I slept with the man I thought killed my brother, and my brother was alive the entire time, working with the man who supposedly ordered the hit. You didn't sleep with me, Woo-Jin corrected quietly, and despite everything, a ghost of warmth flickered in his eyes. We kissed. That's all. Don't. Zuri shook her head, tears finally spilling down her cheeks. Don't try to make this better. Nothing makes this better. My brother let me think he was dead. He let our mother. She couldn't finish the sentence, couldn't think about her mother back in Lagos who'd buried her firstborn son and had barely survived the grief, who'd held Zuri while they both sobbed over a closed casket because the body had been too damaged to view. Had there even been a body? I need to see him, Zuri said suddenly, urgently, looking up at Woo-Jin with desperate eyes. I need to talk to him. There has to be an explanation. There has to be. It's a trap. Woo-Jin's voice was flat, final. Kang sent that video to manipulate you, to make you do exactly what you're thinking of doing, rushing in without a plan, emotional, vulnerable. He'll capture you, torture you for information, and kill you, and he'll make Kofi watch. Or maybe Kofi will help him do it, Zuri said bitterly, since apparently he's been on Kang's side all along. We don't know that. What else could it mean? Zuri's voice rose, hysteria edging in. He's alive, Woo-Jin. He's been alive for 6 months while I destroyed my life trying to avenge him, while you risked everything to protect me. While? She stopped, pressing her hand to her mouth, trying to hold back a sob. I can't breathe. I can't. Woo-Jin closed the distance between them in 2 strides and pulled her against his chest. His arms wrapped around her with a fierce protectiveness that belied his usual control. And Zuri felt the rapid hammer of his heart against her cheek. Breathe, he commanded softly, one hand moving to cradle the back of her head. Just breathe, Zuri. I've got you. And despite everything, despite the impossible revelation, despite the betrayal, despite the world crumbling around them, Zuri felt herself steadying in his arms. This man, this dangerous, damaged man who'd been numb for 3 years until she touched him, had become her anchor in the storm. What do we do? She whispered against his chest. We think, Woo-Jin said. We plan. We don't react emotionally. That's what Kang wants. Zuri nodded, but her mind was already racing ahead, turning over possibilities, scenarios, explanations that might make this make sense. And then her phone, her regular phone, not the encrypted one, buzzed in her pocket. They both froze. Woo-Jin's hand moved to his gun. Don't answer it. But Zuri was already pulling it out, and when she saw the caller ID, her breath stopped. Kofi. Not unknown. Not a blocked number. Her brother's name, exactly as she'd saved it in her contacts years ago, complete with the lion emoji she'd added because he'd always been her protector, her pride. Her hands shook as she answered, putting it on speaker so Woo-Jin could hear. Zuri. Kofi's voice, God, his voice exactly as she remembered, deep and warm with that slight accent that was half Nigerian, half international journalist, filled the small room. I know you just saw the video. I know you have questions. I know you probably hate me right now. Hate you? Zuri's voice cracked. Kofi, I mourned you. I buried you. How could you? I couldn't tell you, Kofi interrupted, and there was pain in his voice now, raw and real. I wanted to. God, Zuri, I wanted to tell you so badly. But if Kang knew you knew I was alive, he would have killed you immediately. The only way to keep you safe was to let you think I was dead. Safe? Zuri laughed, the sound harsh and broken. I have a hit order on my life. Kang's trying to kill me right now. I know. That's why I'm calling. That's why I need you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to tell you. Kofi paused. Zuri, I'm not working with Chairman Kang. I'm working against him. I'm undercover. I have been for 3 years. The world tilted. Woo-Jin's grip on Zuri tightened, steadying her. What? Zuri breathed. I'm FBI, Zuri. International Crimes Division, embedded deep cover in Kang's organization. The journalism was my cover. Everything I did, the investigation, the questions, all of it, was part of building a case against one of the largest criminal syndicates in Asia. Zuri's legs gave out. Woo-Jin guided her to the couch, sitting beside her, his arm never leaving her shoulders. You're FBI, Zuri repeated numbly. You've been FBI this whole time. 3 years, Kofi confirmed. I was recruited after a story I did on human trafficking. They needed someone who could get close to Kang without raising suspicion. Someone who looked like just another journalist poking around. But the body, Zuri said. We buried you. Mom and I, we buried. John Doe from the morgue, Kofi said quietly. Similar build, similar age. The face was destroyed in the attack. That part was real, just not me. Kang's people were closing in. They'd figured out I was asking too many questions, getting too close. My handler and I decided the only way to finish the operation was to fake my death, make Kang think the threat was eliminated while I went even deeper underground. You let Mom think you were dead, Zuri said, and the anger was building now, hot and fierce beneath the shock. Do you have any idea what that did to her? What it did to me? I know. Kofi's voice broke. I know, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Zuri. But if I'd told you, if there'd been any hint that I was alive, Kang would have figured it out. He has eyes everywhere. He would have watched you, seen you weren't grieving properly, known something was wrong, and then he would have killed you to get to me. So instead, you let me come to Korea alone, Zuri said bitterly. Let me infiltrate Woo-Jin's organization, thinking I was hunting my brother's killer. Let me put myself in danger for nothing. Not for nothing, Kofi said urgently. Zuri, you being there, working for Woo-Jin, getting close to him, that wasn't nothing. That was Jesus. That was the worst nightmare and the best thing that could have happened. Woo-Jin spoke for the first time, his voice cold and controlled. Explain. Woo-Jin. Kofi's tone shifted, became more formal. I need you to know that I tried to warn you. When I realized Kang was planning to eliminate you, I sent anonymous messages through your encrypted channels. I tried to give you enough information to protect yourself without blowing my cover. The messages about Zuri, Woo-Jin said slowly, the warnings to keep her safe, that was you. Yes, I couldn't protect her directly without revealing I was alive, but I could make sure you knew she was in danger. And I knew. Kofi paused. I knew if anyone could keep her safe, it was you. You're ruthless, but you're not cruel, and you owed me. Owed you? Zuri looked at Woo-Jin in confusion. Woo-Jin's expression was complicated, guilt and regret, and something that might have been respect. I was the one who convinced Chairman Kang not to kill Kofi immediately when his investigation first raised red flags. I bought him time, told Kang that killing a journalist would bring too much attention, that it was better to feed him false information and monitor him. I thought I was helping. I didn't know. You didn't know I was FBI, Kofi finished, and you couldn't have. My cover was solid. But yeah, Woo-Jin, you saved my life that day. So when you started protecting Zuri, when I saw you keeping her safe, even though you knew she was investigating you, I knew I could trust you with her life. But you couldn't trust her with the truth, Zuri said, and the hurt in her voice made Woo-Jin's arm tighten around her. I'm telling you now, Kofi said, because we're out of time. Kang knows you've seen the evidence. He knows you're with Woo-Jin, and tomorrow night he's going to make his move. What move? Woo-Jin asked sharply. There's a gala tomorrow night at the Shilla Hotel. Legitimate event. Charity fundraiser for children's hospitals. All of Seoul's elite will be there, including politicians, judges, police commissioners. It's the perfect cover for Kang to finalize deals with his international partners. And it's the perfect place to make you both disappear without causing suspicion. He's going to kill us at a charity gala? Zuri asked incredulously. He's going to have you killed, Kofi corrected. Quietly, cleanly, in a way that looks like you both left the event voluntarily. Maybe a car accident on the way home. Maybe you're found dead in your apartment the next morning, murder-suicide. Kang's good at making deaths look natural. Then we don't go to the gala, Woo-Jin said. We run. Leave Korea tonight, disappear. And Kang wins, Kofi interrupted. He consolidates his power, eliminates anyone who knows the truth, and continues operating with impunity. And Zuri, he'll never stop hunting you. Never. You know too much. You've seen too much. You'll spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder. So what's the alternative? Zuri asked. Walk into his trap? Yes, Kofi said, but with a plan, with backup, with everything we need to bring him down once and for all. Woo-Jin and Zuri exchanged a look. What kind of plan? Woo-Jin asked cautiously. The kind where we record him confessing to everything, Kofi said. Kang is arrogant. He loves to gloat. If we can get him alone with Zuri, if we can make him think he's won, that he's about to kill her, and there's nothing she can do about it, he'll tell her everything. Every crime, every murder, every deal, and I'll be recording every word. You want to use her as bait, Woo-Jin said, and his voice went deadly quiet. I want to use all of us as bait, Kofi corrected. Me, Zuri, you. We all go to the gala. We let Kang think he has us exactly where he wants us, and then we spring the trap. And what makes you think we'll survive that? Zuri asked. Because I won't be alone, Kofi said. I have a full FBI tactical team ready to move. The moment we have Kang's confession on tape, the moment he moves to hurt any of you, they'll raid the gala and arrest everyone involved. It's over, Zuri. One way or another, it ends tomorrow night. Silence filled the safe house. Zuri looked at Woo-Jin. He was staring at the phone with an expression she'd never seen before, a mixture of calculation, fear, and determination. It's a risk, he said finally. A huge risk. It's the only play we have, Kofi said. Please, Zuri. I know I've lied to you. I know I've hurt you. But I'm asking you to trust me one more time. Help me finish this. Help me bring Kang down and end this nightmare for all of us. Zuri closed her eyes. 6 months ago, she would have trusted her brother with her life without hesitation. But 6 months ago, she hadn't known he was capable of faking his own death and letting her grieve. How do I know this isn't another lie? She whispered. How do I know you're really FBI and not just playing another angle? Meet me, Kofi said immediately. Tonight. Just you and me. I'll show you my credentials. I'll show you everything. And then you can decide if you trust me. Absolutely not, Woo-Jin said. If Kang finds out, he won't, Kofi interrupted. I know a place, completely off the grid, no surveillance, no way for Kang to track us. I'll send you the address. Come alone, Zuri, please. Zuri opened her eyes and looked at Woo-Jin. His expression was clear. This was a terrible idea. But she had to know, had to see her brother face to face, look him in the eyes, and know if he was telling the truth. Send me the address, Zuri said. Zuri, Woo-Jin started. I have to do this, she said, cutting him off. He's my brother, Woo-Jin. I have to know. Woo-Jin stared at her for a long moment, and she saw the war raging behind his eyes. The need to protect her versus the understanding that this was her choice to make. Finally, he nodded. But I'm coming with you, not to the meeting. I'll stay back, out of sight, but I'm not letting you walk into a potential trap alone. Deal? Kofi said before Zuri could respond. The address is being sent now. Midnight. Don't be late. The line went dead. Zuri and Woo-Jin sat in silence, processing everything they just heard. Do you believe him? Zuri asked finally. I don't know, Woo-Jin admitted, but I know we're about to find out. The meeting place was an abandoned church in Hongdae, tucked between new developments like a ghost from another era. The stained glass windows were boarded up and graffiti covered the walls, but the structure was sound. Zuri stood at the entrance at 11:57 p.m., her heart hammering. Woo-Jin was somewhere in the shadows across the street. She couldn't see him, but she could feel his presence, could imagine him with his gun drawn and his eyes scanning for threats. At exactly midnight, the church door opened, and there he was. Kofi, taller than she remembered, or maybe she just shrunk in her memories. He wore dark clothes, practical and nondescript, and his face was thinner than it had been, marked by stress and exhaustion. But his eyes, those eyes were the same, her brother's eyes. Zuri, he breathed, and suddenly he was moving, crossing the space between them in 3 long strides and pulling her into a crushing hug. And Zuri broke. All the grief, all the anger, all the confusion and fear and love came pouring out in great, racking sobs as she clung to her brother, her alive, solid, real brother, and felt him trembling against her. I'm sorry, Kofi whispered into her hair, his voice choked with emotion. I'm so sorry, sis. I'm so fucking sorry. I hate you, Zuri sobbed. I hate you so much. I know. Mom cried for weeks. She couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. She nearly died from the grief, Kofi. I know. His voice broke. I know, and I'll have to live with that for the rest of my life. But I couldn't, if I'd told you, if there'd been even a hint. Kang would have known, Zuri finished. She pulled back, wiping her eyes, and looked up at her brother through blurred vision. Show me proof that you're telling the truth. Kofi reached into his jacket, slowly, carefully, aware that Woo-Jin was probably watching with a gun aimed at his chest, and pulled out a leather credential case. FBI, Special Agent Kofi Adeyemi, International Crimes Division. Zuri took the case with shaking hands and examined it. It looked real, but she'd seen fake IDs before. My handler is Special Agent Sarah Chen, Kofi said. She's been running this operation for 4 years. I can give you her direct number. You can call her right now, verify everything. I will, Zuri said, pulling out her phone. The call connected after 2 rings. A woman's voice, crisp and professional, Agent Chen. This is Zuri Adeyemi, Zuri said, Kofi's sister. I need you to confirm something for me. Of course, I've been expecting your call. A pause. Your brother is one of the bravest agents I've ever worked with, Miss Adeyemi. What he's done, what he's sacrificed, has been extraordinary, and I'm deeply sorry for the pain his cover has caused you and your family. Is he really FBI? Zuri asked bluntly. Yes. Special Agent Kofi Adeyemi, badge number 437992, assigned to my task force since 2022. He's been embedded in Chairman Kang's organization building a RICO case that will dismantle one of the largest criminal syndicates in Asia. Zuri's knees went weak. Kofi steadied her. Tomorrow night's operation, Zuri said. Is that real? Yes, we've had tactical teams in position for 72 hours. The moment Agent Adeyemi gives the signal, we move. But Miss Adeyemi, I need you to understand the risks. Chairman Kang is extremely dangerous. If anything goes wrong... I understand, Zuri interrupted. Thank you, Agent Chen. She ended the call and looked at her brother. It's real, she whispered. It's all real. I told you, Kofi said softly. I would never lie to you about something like this, about anything that matters. You lied about being dead, Zuri pointed out. To keep you alive. Kofi cupped her face in his hands, the way he used to when she was little and had skinned her knee or gotten her heart broken. Everything I've done, every lie I've told, has been to keep you and Mom safe. You have to believe that. And looking into her brother's eyes, those familiar, beloved eyes, Zuri did believe him. Okay, she said. I'm in. Whatever you need tomorrow night, I'll do it. You're sure? Kofi asked. Because once we start this, there's no backing out. Kang will know, and he'll come for you with everything he has. I'm sure. Zuri's voice was steady now, certain. Let's end this. Kofi smiled, that crooked, mischievous smile she'd missed so much. That's my sister. Movement in the shadows. Woo-Jin emerged from the darkness, his gun holstered, but his expression wary. Woo-Jin, Kofi said, extending his hand. Thank you for keeping her safe. Woo-Jin looked at the offered hand for a long moment before shaking it. I didn't do it for you. I know. Kofi's smile turned knowing. You did it for her. And trust me when I say, I see the way you look at my sister. I have questions about that. A lot of questions. But those can wait until after we've taken down Kang. Looking forward to it, Woo-Jin said dryly. So what's the plan for tomorrow night? Zuri asked. Kofi pulled out a tablet and brought up blueprints of the Shilla Hotel. Here's what we're going to do. The Shilla Hotel glittered like a jewel in the heart of Seoul, its grand facade illuminated by spotlights that turned the white stone golden. Black luxury cars lined the circular drive, depositing Korea's elite in their finest evening wear, designers' gowns, bespoke tuxedos, diamonds that cost more than most people made in a year. Zuri stood at the entrance in a dress she never could have afforded on her secretary's salary, deep emerald silk that hugged every curve of her figure-8 body before flowing to the floor with a daring slit up one thigh that showed glimpses of her dark brown skin with every step. Her box braids were swept up into an elegant updo, a few carefully chosen strands framing her face. Diamond earrings, borrowed from the FBI's asset seizure inventory, according to Kofi, caught the light every time she moved her head. She looked stunning. She felt like she was walking to her execution. Breathe, Woo-Jin murmured beside her, his hand settling on the small of her back with possessive familiarity. He wore a tailored black tuxedo that fit his athletic frame perfectly, his jet black hair styled back, though a few rebellious strands still fell across his forehead. The scar above his left eyebrow was visible, adding to his dangerous appeal. His tattoos were hidden beneath the formal wear, but Zuri knew they were there, knew every inch of the art that decorated his skin. I am breathing, Zuri said. You're hyperventilating, Woo-Jin corrected. Slow breaths, in through your nose, out through your mouth. You look like a woman who belongs at this gala, like you own this place. Channel that. Zuri nodded and forced herself to slow her breathing. Around her throat, hidden beneath the elegant drape of her necklace, was a wire no thicker than a strand of hair. The tiny microphone would pick up every word spoken within 10 feet of her. Kofi and his FBI team would hear everything. They just had to get Chairman Kang talking. Ready? Woo-Jin asked. No, Zuri admitted, but let's do this anyway. They entered the hotel together, and immediately all eyes turned to them. Zuri felt the weight of those stares, curious, calculating, some openly hostile. These people knew who Woo-Jin was. They knew his reputation, his power, his connection to Chairman Kang. And they knew that his appearance tonight, after his very public arrest and equally mysterious release, meant something significant was happening. The ballroom was a study in opulence. Crystal chandeliers, marble floors, tables decorated with elaborate flower arrangements that probably cost more than Zuri's entire wardrobe. A string quartet played in one corner, while servers in white gloves circulated with champagne and hors d'oeuvres. It looked like a fairy tale. It was a den of wolves. "Mr. Kwan," a smooth voice called out. "How unexpected to see you here." Chairman Kang materialized from the crowd like a specter, resplendent in a charcoal gray suit that probably cost 6 figures. His silver hair was perfectly styled, his smile warm and grandfatherly. He looked like someone's beloved uncle, not a man who'd ordered dozens of murders. "Chairman," Woo-Jin replied, his voice carefully neutral, "I wouldn't miss your event. And you've brought a guest." Kang's gaze slid to Zuri, and she felt his eyes moving over her like something cold and predatory. "Miss Adeyemi, you look alive. I'm surprised." "I'm resilient," Zuri said, forcing herself to meet his eyes. "It takes more than a few hired killers to stop me." Kang's smile widened, though it never reached his eyes. "Clearly. Tell me, how did you manage to escape my associates? They were quite skilled." "I had help," Zuri said, glancing at Woo-Jin. "Ah, yes, young love." Kang's tone was mocking now. How inconvenient for everyone involved. "Woo-Jin, I hope you understand that your attachment to this woman has created significant complications." "I understand perfectly," Woo-Jin said, his hand on Zuri's back pressed slightly, a silent message. "Stay calm. Stick to the plan." "Do you?" Kang studied them both. "This because from where I'm standing, it appears you've chosen a woman you've known for 3 months over the organization that saved your life. Over the man who made you into what you are today. That seems like poor judgment." "With respect, Chairman, my judgment is my own," Woo-Jin said carefully. "Indeed." Kang sipped his champagne. "Well, since you're both here, perhaps we should discuss this like civilized people. I have a private room reserved upstairs. We can speak more. Candidly there, without all these prying eyes." Zuri's heart hammered. This was it. The moment Kofi had said would come. Kang was inviting them to their deaths, dressed up as a civilized conversation. "That sounds reasonable," Woo-Jin said. "Excellent." Kang gestured toward the elevators. "Shall we?" They walked through the ballroom, and Zuri felt every eye tracking them. Did these people know? Did they understand they were watching 3 people walk toward a confrontation that would end in blood? The elevator ride was silent. Kang stood with his hands folded, that pleasant smile never wavering. Woo-Jin's hand never left Zuri's back, and Zuri counted her heartbeats, trying to remember everything Kofi had told her. Let him talk, let him gloat. Arrogant men love to explain how clever they are. Get him to confess to everything, and we'll have enough to put him away for life. The elevator opened on the top floor, the penthouse level, reserved for VIPs and private events. Kang led them down a hallway lined with expensive art to a door at the end. He unlocked it with a keycard and gestured them inside. The suite was enormous, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Seoul, leather furniture, a full bar, the kind of space that screamed wealth and power. And standing by the windows, his back to them, was Kofi. Zuri's breath caught, even though she'd known he'd be here. Seeing her brother in the flesh, in Chairman Kang's presence, was still surreal. "Ah, yes," Kang said pleasantly. "I believe you two know each other." Kofi turned, and his face was carefully blank, showing none of the emotion from their meeting last night. He looked at Zuri as if she were a stranger, and she forced herself to match his expression, to play the role. "Hello, little sister," Kofi said. "Surprised to see me?" "That's an understatement," Zuri managed. "I imagine you have questions," Kang said, moving to the bar to pour himself a drink. "Sit, please. Let's discuss this like adults." None of them sat. "I think we'll stand," Woo-Jin said. "Suit yourself." Kang took a long sip of whiskey, savoring it. "So, where to begin? Perhaps with the truth about your dear brother, Miss Adeyemi." "I'm listening," Zuri said. "Kofi Adeyemi never died," Kang said, as if this was amusing gossip rather than a devastating revelation. "Oh, I wanted him dead. He was asking far too many inconvenient questions, getting far too close to operations he had no business knowing about. But it turns out your brother is remarkably resourceful. He faked his death, made me believe the threat was eliminated, and then approached me with a proposition. What kind of proposition? Zuri asked, though she already knew the answer, or at least the version Kang believed. He offered his services, Kang said. You see, Kofi realized that fighting against me was futile. I'm too powerful, too connected. So instead, he chose to join me. Help me expand my operations internationally, use his journalism contacts to facilitate money laundering and information gathering. It's been quite profitable. Zuri looked at Kofi, who met her gaze without flinching. Is that true? Every word, Kofi said smoothly. Sorry, sis. Nothing personal, just business. The words were a lie. They had to be, but they still cut like knives. And you let me think you were dead, Zuri said, letting real anger color her voice. Let Mom destroy herself with grief. Let me come to Korea on a suicide mission to avenge you. Why? Because it was convenient, Kofi said with a shrug. You being here, working for Woo-Jin, getting close to the organization, it provided useful intelligence. I've been feeding information to Chairman Kang about your activities for months. That's why I always knew where you were, Kang added, smiling. Why my people could track you so easily, your own brother was selling you out. Zuri felt tears burning in her eyes. Real tears, because even though she knew this was an act, the words still hurt. You bastard. Don't take it personally, Kofi said. In this world, family is a liability. Attachment is weakness. I learned that from Chairman Kang. Indeed, Kang said, clearly pleased. Kofi has been an excellent student, which brings us to tonight's unpleasant business. Unpleasant business? Woo-Jin asked, his voice carefully neutral. Yes. Kang set down his glass. You see, Woo-Jin, you were like a son to me. I saved you after Minso's betrayal. I gave you power, purpose, a family when you had nothing. And in return, all I asked was loyalty. I've been loyal, Woo-Jin said. Have you? Kang's voice hardened. Because from where I'm standing, you've been protecting the woman investigating me. You've been hiding evidence. You've compiled files detailing my operations. Yes, I know about those files, Woo-Jin. Did you really think I wouldn't monitor your activities? Woo-Jin's expression didn't change, but Zuri felt the tension radiating from him. I was protecting my interests, Woo-Jin said carefully. You were protecting her? Kang corrected, gesturing at Zuri. And in doing so, you betrayed me. Betrayed everything I built. Do you know what the penalty for betrayal is in my organization? Death, Woo-Jin said flatly. Death, Kang confirmed. For both of you, I'm afraid your romance, while touching, cannot be allowed to continue. You both know too much. You've seen too much. And quite frankly, you've become more trouble than you're worth. So why tell us all this? Zuri asked. Why not just kill us and be done with it? Because I want you to understand, Kang said, and there was something almost wounded in his voice. I want Woo-Jin to know that this pains me, that I took no pleasure in ordering his death, and I want you, Miss Adeyemi, to know that your brother personally volunteered to be the one to kill you. Zuri's blood ran cold. She looked at Kofi, who pulled a gun from his jacket. Nothing personal, Zuri, Kofi said, and his voice was empty, emotionless. Just business. He raised the gun, and Zuri understood that this was the moment. This was when Kofi would reveal himself, when the FBI would burst in, when everything would come together. But Kofi didn't lower the gun. His finger moved to the trigger, and for one terrible, impossible second, Zuri thought she'd been wrong about everything. Any last words? Kofi asked. Yes, Zuri said, her voice steadier than she felt. I forgive you. Kofi's hand trembled, just for a second, and then everything happened at once. The suite's door exploded inward. FBI tactical agents in full gear poured into the room, weapons drawn, shouting commands. FBI, hands up, nobody move. Kofi spun toward Kang, his gun now aimed at the chairman instead of his sister. Chairman Kang, you're under arrest for racketeering, money laundering, murder, conspiracy, and about 40 other charges. You have the right to remain silent. Kang's face twisted with rage and betrayal. You? Special Agent Kofi Adeyemi, Kofi said, pulling out his badge. I've been undercover in your organization for 3 years, and thanks to tonight's confession, which was recorded in its entirety, we have everything we need to dismantle your entire syndicate. Kang lunged for a weapon, a gun hidden in the bar, but Woo-Jin was faster. He drew his own pistol and fired, the shot echoing through the suite. The bullet caught Kang in the shoulder, spinning him around. He fell against the bar, clutching the wound, his face contorted with pain and fury. "You're all dead," Kang snarled. "All of you. I have people everywhere. Judges, politicians, police." "Had people," Kofi corrected. "We've been making arrests all night. Your network is gone, Kang. It's over." FBI agents swarmed Kang, forcing him to the ground, reading him his rights while he screamed threats and curses. And through it all, Zuri just stood there, her entire body shaking with adrenaline and relief and shock. It was over. It was actually over. Kofi holstered his weapon and crossed to her, pulling her into a fierce hug. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I'm so sorry I had to do it that way. I had to make him believe." "I know," Zuri said, holding her brother tight. "I know." Woo-Jin stood apart from them, his gun still in his hand, watching as FBI agents secured the scene. His expression was carefully blank, but Zuri could see the conflict in his eyes. He'd just shot his mentor, the man who'd saved his life. Whatever Kang had become, there had been a time when Woo-Jin had loved him like a father. "Woo-Jin," Zuri said softly, extracting herself from Kofi's embrace and moving to him. "Are you okay?" "I don't know," he said honestly. He looked down at the gun in his hand as if surprised to find it there. "I shot him. I actually shot him." "You saved our lives," Zuri said. "He was going for a weapon. You stopped him." "I know." Woo-Jin holstered the gun with mechanical precision. "But that doesn't make it feel any less like patricide." An FBI agent approached. A woman in her 40s with sharp eyes and an authoritative presence. "Mr. Kwan? I'm Special Agent Sarah Chen. I need you to come with me. We have some questions about your role in Kang's organization." "Am I under arrest?" Woo-Jin asked. "That depends on how cooperative you are," Chen said. "We're prepared to offer immunity in exchange for testimony. Everything you know about Kang's operations, his associates, his international connections. You help us. We help you." Woo-Jin looked at Zuri. "Will I see you again?" "Count on it," Zuri said fiercely. He nodded, then followed Agent Chen out of the suite. Kofi put his arm around Zuri's shoulders. "Come on, let's get you out of here. We need to take your statement, debrief you, and then I want to go home," Zuri said. "I want to see Mom. I want to tell her you're alive. I know," Kofi said gently, "and we will. All of it. But first, we need to make sure this sticks. Make sure Kang and everyone associated with him goes away for life. Can you do that? Can you be strong for just a little bit longer?" Zuri looked around the suite, at the FBI agents processing evidence, at Chairman Kang being hauled away in handcuffs, still spitting curses, at the floor-to-ceiling windows showing souls spread out below like a glittering promise. "Yeah," she said, "I can do that." 6 months later, the courtroom was packed for the verdict. Zuri sat in the front row, flanked by Kofi on one side and Woo-Jin on the other. Her mother sat on Kofi's other side, still periodically reaching over to touch her son's arm as if to confirm he was real. The reunion had been everything Zuri had hoped for. Tears, laughter, her mother alternating between hugging Kofi and hitting him for putting them through such hell. But they were together again. That was what mattered. "Has the jury reached a verdict?" the judge asked. "We have, Your Honor." The foreman stood. "On the count of racketeering, we find the defendant guilty. On the count of murder in the first degree," the list went on. "Guilty, guilty, guilty." Every single charge. Chairman Kang sat at the defense table, his silver hair grayer now, his distinguished features haggard from 6 months in jail awaiting trial. He'd aged a decade in half a year. When the verdicts were read, his expression barely changed. He'd known this was coming. "The defendant is remanded to custody pending sentencing," the judge said. "Court is adjourned." The courtroom erupted in noise, reporters shouting questions, people reacting to the verdict, the chaos of justice being served. Zuri felt Woo-Jin's hand find hers under the table, their fingers intertwining. He'd testified against Kang, had spent hours on the stand detailing every operation, every crime, every murder he'd witnessed or participated in. It had been brutal. For him, for Zuri watching him relive it all, for everyone involved. But he'd done it, had chosen redemption over silence. In exchange, he'd received immunity from prosecution and a sentence of community service. 5 years working with at-risk youth, using his experience to steer them away from the criminal life he'd lived. It wasn't a perfect ending, but it was a real one. "It's over," Zuri said, squeezing Woo-Jin's hand. It's really over. Not quite, Woo-Jin said, and there was something nervous in his voice that made her look at him sharply. What do you mean? I mean, he turned to face her fully. I mean that Kang is in prison, yes. Your brother is alive. You're safe. All the immediate threats are resolved. But there's still one thing unfinished. What's that? Woo-Jin took a deep breath. Zuri Adeyemi, I have been numb for 3 years. I moved through the world like a ghost, feeling nothing, caring about nothing, waiting for death to catch up with me. And then you touched my hand in a corporate lobby, and suddenly I was alive again. Suddenly I had something to lose, someone to protect, someone worth becoming a better man for. Zuri's breath caught. I know I'm not the man you deserve, Woo-Jin continued, and his dark eyes were intense, vulnerable, raw with emotion. I have blood on my hands that will never wash clean. I've done terrible things, and I'll have to live with that guilt for the rest of my life. But you make me want to be better. You make me want to earn a future I don't deserve. Woo-Jin. Let me finish, he said. I love you. I'm in love with you. I don't know when it started. Maybe when you touched me that first time. Or maybe when you looked at me in the parking garage like I was worth saving. Or maybe when you trusted me with your life despite every reason not to. But I love you. And I'm asking you, begging you, to give me a chance to prove I can be the man you need. Tears blurred Zuri's vision. You idiot. Woo-Jin's face fell. I understand if. You beautiful, stubborn, self-sacrificing idiot, Zuri said, and she was laughing and crying at the same time. You don't have to prove anything. You already showed me who you are. You chose me over your organization. You chose redemption over safety. You've been proving yourself every single day for 6 months. So is that a yes? Woo-Jin asked carefully. It's a, I love you too, you ridiculous man, Zuri said. It's a yes, I'll give us a chance. It's a, let's see where this goes, together. Woo-Jin's face transformed, the cold, emotionless mask he'd worn for 3 years completely shattered by a smile that was pure joy, pure relief, pure love. He cupped her face in his hands and kissed her. It wasn't their first kiss. That had been in the safe house, desperate and forbidden. It wasn't even their most passionate. There'd been several of those in the months since Kang's arrest. But it was the first kiss where there were no secrets between them, no danger looming, no reasons to hold back. It was a kiss that tasted like freedom. When they finally broke apart, Zuri became aware of her surroundings again. The courtroom had mostly emptied, but Kofi was still there, watching them with a mixture of amusement and big brother protectiveness. So, Kofi said, we should probably talk about this, about you dating my sister, about your intentions, about... Kofi, Zuri interrupted, shut up. But I have questions. Later, Zuri said firmly. Right now, I just want to enjoy this moment. Kofi sighed but smiled. Fine, but we are having that conversation, soon. Looking forward to it, Woo-Jin said, and he actually sounded sincere. Their mother approached, having finished speaking with the prosecutors. Are you ready? She asked in Yoruba. We should celebrate. This nightmare is finally over. Almost, Zuri said. She looked at Woo-Jin. There's one more thing I need to do. 3 weeks later, the cemetery was quiet in the early morning, dew still clinging to the grass. Zuri stood in front of a gravestone that bore her brother's name, even though his body had never been beneath it. Woo-Jin stood a respectful distance away, giving her space. I know you're not actually here, Zuri said to the gravestone, but I needed to come anyway. Needed to say goodbye to the version of you that died, the journalist who was just my brother, before I knew about the FBI and the undercover work and all of it. She placed fresh flowers on the grave. I'm going back to Lagos next week. Mom needs me, and I need to be home for a while. To heal, to figure out who I am when I'm not investigating or running for my life. The morning breeze rustled through the trees. But I'm coming back, Zuri continued. In 6 months, maybe a year. Because there's someone here worth coming back for. Someone who makes me feel alive in ways I never expected. She turned and looked at Woo-Jin, who was watching her with those intense dark eyes that had once been cold and were now warm with love. I think you'd like him, Zuri told the gravestone. Eventually. After you got done threatening him and giving him the big brother speech. He's complicated and damaged, and sometimes he still has nightmares about the things he's done. But he's trying to be better. and he makes me happy. She stood there for another moment, saying a silent prayer, and then walked back to Woo-Jin. Ready? He asked. Ready, Zuri confirmed. They walked through the cemetery together, hand in hand, toward whatever future waited for them. It wouldn't be perfect. There would be challenges. Woo-Jin's past, Zuri's trauma, the distance when she went home to Lagos, the process of healing from everything they'd been through. But they would face it together. And for the first time in 3 years, Kwon Woo-Jin felt something other than numbness. He felt hope. And that's where this story ends. But before you go, if you love this journey, if you felt every moment of danger, every spark of forbidden romance, every twist that made you gasp, drop a comment telling me your favorite moment from the entire series. Was it the first electric touch? The parking garage rescue? Kofi's impossible return? The final confrontation with Kang? The happy ending? Let me know. And if you want more stories like this, more dangerous men, more forbidden love, more shocking twists, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thank you for being here for Zuri and Woo-Jin's story. Thank you for every comment, every like, every moment you spent invested in these characters. This is Afro-Korean Drama, and I'll see you in the next story.